hiding under a security camera, like probably out of sight. Holy sh!
And I look up, and it was this pickup truck.
In 2023, a solo female traveler, known online as Cat Lady, Van shared one of her most disturbing experiences to date. As someone who often documents her van life adventures from peaceful nature, escapes to overnight stays in urban areas, she was no stranger to strange encounters. But nothing she had ever faced compared to what happened one unsettling night in an otherwise normal city parking lot. That evening, she parked in what seemed like a safe and quiet area within city limits. Several other vans and RVs were parked nearby, offering a sense of community without sacrificing privacy. Everything felt ordinary, almost comforting, until the early hours of the morning when her peaceful night took a dark turn. She woke suddenly to loud, aggressive noises outside her van.
In the middle of the night, I woke up in the sound of several honk and a car that seems to drive all the time beside me. And I look up, and it was this pickup truck. This man was driving in front of my van, putting his high beam and blocking my exit out. Driving after that behind me, turning around, honking at me, and doing this for at least 10-15 minutes. Honking, and he's just parked further into the parking lot, and I don't know if I should move or stay here.
A large white pickup truck had entered the lot and began circling her vehicle in a slow, menacing pattern. The driver stopped directly in front of her, several times switching on the high beams that completely flooded her van with light, then looping around to do it again. The truck's horn blared repeatedly, each honk sharp, deliberate, and threatening. What made it even more unsettling was that none of the nearby campers were targeted, only her. The driver ignored every other vehicle, as if fixated solely on hers. Whether it was a cruel prank or something far more intentional, the message felt disturbingly clear. This wasn't random. For almost 15 minutes, the truck continued to harass her, boxing her in and blocking any easy escape route. The situation felt less like intimidation and more like a trap. Fearing that staying put would make things worse, she finally made the difficult choice to leave, not knowing if driving away would help.
Alright, I don't see the van anymore. The pickup truck, it's a white pickup truck, was turning behind my van and coming up and honking and just pointing their big lights into my van. There's another camper up the road. There's another camper here. He didn't bother them. So I don't know what was the deal, but I'm just gonna move, guys. I know, guys, you cannot see me. And if I feel like I've been followed, I'm just gonna drive in front of a police station. We're gonna drive to a completely different town so we don't get arrested, we don't get bothered again later.
Or put her in greater danger. She fled the lot in silence, driving nearly 20 miles to another town before finally stopping in front of a police station where she felt a small sense of relief. The motivation behind the driver's actions remains a mystery. Was it someone who recognized her from social media? A person with a grudge against van dwellers? Or perhaps just a random act of harassment that escalated too far? Each possibility is equally disturbing. Urban areas are often considered safer than remote places, yet this incident proved that danger can appear anywhere, even when surrounded by people. So what do you think? Was this a case of random harassment or something much more deliberate? Uploaded on May 8, 2023, this video began, like many cheerful travel vlogs, filled with optimism, laughter, and the thrill of beginning a new adventure. Jen and Will, along with their dog Tucker, had just left Florida to begin full-time RV living. With a new fifth-wheel trailer and a truck they'd affectionately named after Yellowstone characters, their excitement was obvious. Their first major destination, New Orleans. The tone was bright as they said goodbye to family, moved into their new home on wheels, and looked forward to the journey ahead.
Today we are getting on the road and heading all the way out west to California. But yeah, it's just kind of a little sad this morning. Of course, it's rainy and kind of set like a sad undertone to the day because we're leaving Matt. My parents came down to Florida for a couple weeks. They left this morning, so a lot of goodbyes happened today. We had a little bit of crying. No, I'm not about to cry. We already had our cries this morning, but we're trying to be positive. We're about to hit the road and head to New Orleans today. Really, truly, this is our first big like RV trip.
I know.
You know, going out west.
Like, we've RV'd, but we haven't adventured in this yet.
Also, when we did our full tour of our new fifth wheel, we completely forgot to tell you guys what we decided to name our truck and our fifth wheel.
Oh, how did we forget that?
If you guys are fans of the show Yellowstone, Will and I are big fans of the show. So we decided to name the truck Rip and the Paradigm Beth. So Rip's pulling Beth along down the road, and I think our trip just looks like Rip. Like, if you watch the show and you know Rip's personality, like, this truck just fits Rip.
It does.
At first, everything went smoothly. They filmed RV upgrades, shared lighthearted frustrations about damaged deliveries, and enjoyed peaceful moments at their campsite just outside the city. But soon, Jen began feeling strangely unwell. It wasn't quite a cold, but more like constant dizziness, a sense of vertigo that left her disoriented and lightheaded. Still, she tried to keep going, taking breaks when needed, while Will managed errands and small maintenance jobs.
We just finished a couple things outside. We were trying to install a bed cover that we got from eTrailer, but it actually came a little bit damaged in the shipping, so they're gonna actually figure it all out for us, whether it's getting a new one or getting new parts to fix that. But we were planning on doing that today now that we finally had some peace and space here at this campground. So that kind of sucks we can't install that today, but we did get our Max Chalks out for the first time and put those on. Now we are going to be putting our new mattress in our bedroom, which I'm excited about because so far we've been sleeping on the mattress that came with the fifth wheel, which I have to say wasn't terrible compared to like most built-in RV mattresses, but it is pretty firm and I wake up sometimes and my shoulders falling asleep. So I'm very excited to put our new Brooklyn bedding mattress in. So I think Will's going to come in. I'm going to use today as an opportunity to wash the sheets since we're changing the mattress out. And we have tons of boxes that we need to take to the dump. So hopefully there's a dump around here. I'm taking a little break just to rest because I'm feeling pretty under the weather. And it's weird because it's definitely like a chest cold, but I don't even feel that bad there. It's more, I think, the inner ear canal feels like I have fluid in it or something. So it feels like constant vertigo. So I just kind of feel like I'm in a dream state all the time, like I'm high on some NyQuil or something. So I'm just trying to like somewhat productive today and kind of be easy on myself. So we'll see. It's a really nice day, so I'll just get done as much as we can.
Eventually, they decided to explore New Orleans. The city was lively, chaotic, and full of energy, music spilling into the streets, people everywhere, lights flashing from every corner. Yet despite the excitement, both admitted they felt uneasy. The noise and unpredictability were overwhelming. They brushed it off as first-day nerves.
It's kind of stuff. Well, no, I mean, I had some other tools. Nothing really that major. More, it would have just been like a pain in the butt. But they didn't take any of that. Truthfully, it was stuff like, you know, toe straps and that light dad got me.
They took all that?
No, I'm saying all that stuff, it's not worth value.
Yeah.
But it would have been a pain in the butt to go and get all that stuff again.
I know.
You know?
Okay, let's leave.
Well, New Orleans put a little damper on our trip. So we truthfully didn't feel the most comfortable in New Orleans, being completely honest. We were kind of like, hey, it's St. Patrick's Day weekend, and maybe people are just being a little crazy. We didn't know if we'd ever really come back, to be honest. And then we came out to the car, and I'm like, Jen, why'd you leave the window down? And she's like, I didn't leave the window down. And I'm like, get closer, and I'm like, somebody busted out our window. So
we didn't really have anything of value sitting out.
No, like I had a really nice Craftsman toolkit my parents bought me for Christmas years ago. I had it under the seat if it was in here, but we were doing a bunch of work on the RV yesterday, and I think I pulled it out for that. Keep your fingers crossed. I think it's in the RV. So
yeah, so we're a little rattled right now. We're here at a Lowe's that we're gonna go into and try to get the stuff to like patch the window real quick.
Yeah, my guess is we're supposed to be leaving tomorrow morning. My guess is we'll have to get it fixed in Waco when we get there.
Yeah, which is our next stop.
Which is our next stop. And you know, I don't even know. Maybe we'll call the insurance company. Maybe we won't, depending on how much it is. If it's worth filing a claim and all that. So
yeah.
Or the stress of traveling during a crowded weekend, but something about the atmosphere didn't sit right. When they returned to their parked truck near the campground, they found the window shattered. Glass was scattered across the seats. At first, confusion set in, then the realization hit. They had been robbed. Tool straps and personal items were gone. None of it was worth much, but each piece was useful and familiar. Worse, their dog Tucker had been inside the truck and nearly stepped on the glass. The rest of the night was spent cleaning up shards, sealing the broken window with tape, and trying to make sense of what had happened. Shaken and frustrated, they debated whether to file an insurance claim or simply move on. The police were contacted, but they knew recovery was unlikely. What hurt most wasn't the loss, it was the violation. Knowing someone had invaded their space in daylight while they were just living their dream on the road. That realization changed the mood completely. By the end of the video, Jen and Will weren't the same cheerful travelers they'd been at the start. They were ready to leave. They admitted feeling unsafe for most of their stay, though they tried to ignore it until the break-in made it impossible. With their next stop ahead, they drove off, window covered in plastic hearts, heavy, trust broken. This wasn't the video they planned to make. The shift from celebration to unease made it unforgettable. It revealed something rarely seen in polished travel content. When your home moves with you, you're not just a visitor, you're exposed. Vulnerable. Every stop is a gamble. And sometimes that gamble turns against you. They left New Orleans with more than a broken window. They left with a new perspective. Because when safety feels fragile and your space is violated, the road suddenly feels longer and far less free. Would you keep traveling after that? Or would you wonder if the next stop hides the same danger or worse? In a video titled, "The Most Scared I've Been," the YouTube channel Salvage to Scenic recounts a tense and deeply personal truck camping experience gone wrong. Known for showcasing peaceful overland trips and off-grid adventures, this particular upload shifts sharply into darker territory, capturing one of the creator's most unsettling and nerve-wracking nights on the road. The night started like many before it. After a long day of travel, the creator parked in a public lot to rest. But around midnight, things began to take a strange turn. A vehicle pulled up nearby, honked, and started circling his truck. Moments later, a man walked close enough to touch the front corner of the vehicle, while two other figures dressed in all black appeared beneath a nearby security camera, seemingly trying to stay out of sight. They placed a large bag, possibly a duffel or backpack.
I'm looking out the window right now at two people in all black in hoods. They're hiding under a security camera, like probably out of sight. And they've got a bag on the ground, like a big duffel or backpack or something. And I don't know if they're like doing a drug deal or if they've got tools in there and they're fixing to break into my garage. But I don't really like this. Suddenly they have vanished. It looked like they went around that back corner of the building, but I don't really know. 10 minutes later, and they're back. I'm just trying to sleep, man. Just walking over here right now. Bro, what the f?
On the ground. Watching from inside his truck, the narrator grew tense and uncertain. The individuals lingered for several minutes before disappearing, only to return later. What followed was a series of unsettling noises, shouting engines revving, and strange sounds echoing through the lot. Unsure if he was witnessing a drug deal, a setup for theft, or something else entirely, the creator stayed alert, checking his rear camera system repeatedly. The anxiety stretched on for hours. Even after eventually dozing off, the fear never really faded. Despite the unnerving night, the following day brought calm, stunning scenery, and a reminder of why solo exploration, though risky, remains deeply rewarding. The incident underscores how vulnerable solo campers can be, especially in public or unmonitored areas. The creator's use of security cameras likely prevented a worse situation. Some viewers think the figures were scouting vehicles or engaging in illegal activity. Others believe it was a misunderstanding fueled by fatigue and isolation. Still, the pair's behavior and awareness of the camera suggests something more intentional. For those who camp alone, the story poses a haunting question when you're parked off-grid or even in an ordinary lot. How can you ever be sure you're truly alone? What do you think was happening that night? On Wednesday, November 16, 2016, along Tanzania's Nyera River in the southwest, two friends embarked on what they thought would be a routine fishing outing. But the hidden dangers of the wilderness soon surfaced in the most terrifying way imaginable. Without warning,
Okay, you made your choice.
their small boat was struck with tremendous force. A massive hippo had slammed into them, nearly overturning the vessel and leaving both men fighting to stay aboard. In panic, one of them pulled out a handgun and fired several warning shots into the water in a desperate effort to scare the animal away. By sheer luck, the assault ended before either man was dragged beneath the surface. They escaped unharmed, a narrow survival that could have easily turned fatal. Hippos are responsible for more human deaths in Africa than nearly any other large animal. Fiercely territorial and highly aggressive, they can flip boats with ease. In this case, the gunfire may have startled the creature just long enough for the men to escape. But if they had fallen into the river, would they have had any chance against an animal of that size and power? Encounters like this are stark reminders of how razor-thin the boundary can be between adventure and tragedy in the wild. Two passionate anglers stood knee-deep in a muddy Australian lake, fully aware of the unseen dangers beneath the surface. Still, their love for fishing outweighed the risks, keeping them in the water.
I think there's a heap sitting on top of that. Well, but over the other side where it drops off again, there's fucking shitload of weight in there.
Yep. See if I can get over the other side.
Hey! Fuck ya! Oh, fuck turtle.
Without warning, something lunged toward them. A snapping turtle burst through the surface, striking close enough to startle both men. They dodged the attack and laughed it off nervously, pretending it was no big deal. Their light reaction, however, masked what could have turned into a far more dangerous situation. In environments like this, wildlife can strike without notice. This time, it was only a turtle, but it could just as easily have been a crocodile, or even a bull shark. What started as a harmless day of fishing might have ended in disaster. While turtles are usually harmless, certain species can become surprisingly aggressive when provoked or defending their territory. The real threat in Australian waters often comes from crocodiles inhabiting many lakes and rivers, making wading a perilous choice for fishermen. So the question remains, would you risk standing in murky water where anything might be hiding below? The calm surface of a lake can conceal dangers capable of turning a simple fishing trip into a fight for survival.
Guys, brand new video for Burning Eights. It's, as you can tell by the title, pretty crazy experience. We wanted to share it with you, and something we never thought would happen, but there'll be a response video coming very soon, so stay tuned.
In a recent upload from Burning 8, the creators shared a terrifying experience they never expected to face. What started as a normal outdoor outing quickly turned into a frightening ordeal when a gunshot suddenly echoed through the surrounding forest. Shocked, they froze in place, scanning the trees for any sign of movement. Unsure of what had just occurred, they decided to continue forward, assuming it was nothing more than a stray shot.
Holy sh! Stop shooting! Hey!
But just minutes later, another round rang out, this time striking their boat. The truth hit instantly. Someone out there was firing toward them. A voice in the distance,
Hey! You shot my boat! It hit my boat!
a voice in the distance later claimed the shots were aimed only at trees nearby. But whether it was a careless mistake or something much darker, the danger was undeniable. Luckily, both men escaped without injury. Still, one wrong move could have turned the situation into a deadly disaster. No one knows if the shooter truly intended to hit trees or was trying to send a warning. Situations like this highlight the unsettling risks of remote locations where even one reckless pull of a trigger can put innocent lives at stake. So, what's your take? Was it just thoughtless behavior, or did someone intentionally fire at them? Out in the wild, when strangers are involved, the boundary between accident and threat can disappear in an instant.